Does this sound familiar? If it does, you're definitely not alone. That feeling of being totally overwhelmed, it's the exact reason we're putting this together. So if you're an ambitious student staring up at that huge mountain called research experience and you're wondering where to even start, yeah, you're in the right place. So let's just reframe this right now. This isn't some boring chore you have to get through. No, this is a quest. We're going to turn that anxiety into a call to adventure, and we're going to give you the map and the tools you need to navigate the world of academic research. All right, let's get into it. And look, you're not wrong to feel that pressure, not at all. You see it all over places like Reddit. For a lot of people, research experience is the single most important thing on a grad school application. It shows you can do more than just ace your exams, right? It's proof that you can actually contribute something new to your field. All right, so consider this your official call to research. The first step on any great journey is understanding the world you're about to step into. And in this world, that means learning to speak its language. Right. Before you can even think about creating your own research, you've got to understand what other people have already done. And yes, scientific papers, they can look super dense and intimidating, but trust me, they are the absolute foundational skill. Mastering them isn't just a task. It's literally how you gain your first superpower. Okay, so let's talk about that superpower, reading a paper the right way, efficiently and critically. Do not, and I repeat, do not read it from start to finish like a novel. That's a huge mistake. There's a much, much better way. A system that's literally designed to save you hours and a ton of frustration. It's called the 3-pass method, and it's brilliant. It comes from S. Keshav. Okay, pass number 1, the bird's eye view. This is super quick, like 5 to 10 minutes. You're just scanning the title, abstract, intro, all the headings, and the conclusion, just to get the gist, Then, pass 2. You dig into the content. This could take up to an hour. You're really paying attention to the figures and trying to grasp the main arguments. And then, pass 3. This is the deep dive. You only do this if the paper is absolutely critical for your own work. Here, you're basically trying to virtually re-implement it, challenging every single assumption. That first quick pass? It's way more powerful than you'd think. By the end of it, you should know what are called the 5 C's. First, category. What kind of paper is this? Then, context. How does it fit in with other research? Correctness. Does it seem, legit on the surface? Contributions. What's new here? And finally, clarity. Is it actually well written? Just answering those 5 things tells you whether you should even bother going on to pass 2. Okay, so you know how to read it. But should you believe it? That's a whole different question. How do you go from just getting what the paper says to actually judging if it's solid, if it's reliable? Well, that's a skill called critical appraisal. Think of it like being a detective. You're systematically examining a study to judge its trustworthiness, filtering out the weak stuff, the opinions, and the misreporting so you can focus on just the solid evidence. All right, so once you've got your reading superpower down, it's time to move from theory to practice. It's time to start doing. And this journey from just being a helper in a lab to becoming a full-on independent researcher, it's like leveling up in a game. At each stage, you gain more skills and more freedom. And this idea is perfectly captured by something called the Research Skill Development Framework. The key thing to get is that you don't just wake up one day and poof, you're a researcher. No way. It's a gradual journey, a step-by-step process where you build up your skills and, just as importantly, your confidence along the way. So let's take a look at how this actually works. You probably start at level 1, prescribed, where you're just following really clear directions. Then you level up to bounded research. You get a little more freedom, but still within clear boundaries. Eventually, you can get all the way to level 5, open, where you're the one leading the charge. But here's the most important part. Nobody expects you to jump straight to level 5. The whole point is to figure out where you are right now and just focus on getting to the next level. That's it. So, you've done the reading, you've leveled up your skills, you've done the work. Now what? Well, now you've reached the final stage of the quest, sharing your treasure with the world. And this isn't just about getting a line on your resume. It's about giving back, adding your voice to the giant, ongoing conversation of science. That's the real prize. And let's be real, the benefits for you are huge. Seriously. Publishing something as an undergrad, it makes your grad school application jump to the top of the pile. It sharpens your skills like nothing else. It connects you with professors. It screams leadership and initiative. I mean, you get a professional edge that almost nobody else has. It can even be a reality check, helping you decide if this whole research thing is actually the right path for you. Okay, so you're ready to write. How do you even structure this thing? The best way to think about it is an hourglass. Seriously, you start broad in the introduction, right? Hook the reader with a big picture. Then you narrow it down, getting more and more focused until you hit your super specific thesis statement. The whole middle of the paper is just laser focused on proving that single point. And then, in the conclusion, you broaden back out again, explaining why your specific finding actually matters to the big picture. And inside that focused middle part, every single paragraph has a 4-part recipe. 1. Start with a topic sentence. Just state the main point. 2. Give your evidence, your facts, your data. 3, and this is the part people forget, add your analysis. Don't just drop the evidence and run, explain what it means. And 4, a nice smooth transition to the next paragraph. Follow that recipe and you're golden. But wait, before you hit send on that paper you poured your heart into, there's one last challenge, the final boss battle, if you will. Because out there in the world of academic publishing, there are predators, and they love to prey on enthusiastic but inexperienced researchers. These things are called predatory journals. And here's their game. They'll charge you a fee to publish your work, but they don't do any of the important stuff a real journal does, like rigorous peer review. They just take your money and run. And trust me, getting published in one of these can do serious damage to your reputation. So how do you spot one? Okay, let's do a quick fire round of red flags versus green flags. First up, money. A green flag is when all the fees are stated clearly right up front. A giant, waving red flag when they hit you with unexpected, hidden fees halfway through the process. Big nope. Next, their editorial practices. A green flag is a realistic timeline for peer review. We're talking at least a month, probably more. It takes time. The red flag? A promise that they'll publish you in like a week? That's impossible. Real peer review is never that fast. And last one, how they communicate. Green flag, their website looks professional, no typos. The biggest red flag of all, you get one of those spammy emails, full of crazy flattery begging you to submit to some journal you've never even heard of. Yeah, that's a classic predator move. Delete it. You know, this quote really sums up the whole idea behind this quest. It's all about preparation. Learning to read papers the right way, understanding how you'll level up your skills, knowing how to avoid the predators. Doing this homework first is what saves you tons of time and makes your actual lab work so much more effective. So there you have it. We've gone through the whole journey, from learning the secret language all the way to defeating the final boss. You've officially been given the map, you have the tools. The only question left is, what are you going to go discover?